Hi, it's Mr. Line here again, just with another quick tutorial and exercise for developing your skills at sketching in isometric, sketching parallel lines and applying shading. So this is what we call the cutaway box exercise. It's a step on from the cardboard box exercise, and it just starts to get you really thinking about getting these lines really super parallel, and also another sort of added challenge is about getting these cutaways put in as well. So it's another kind of thinking skill in there. So as before, I'm going to be sketching on some pieces of paper. Make sure you've got 2 or 3 pieces there to rest on. Make sure you've got something to draw with. Again, I'm drawing in pen because it forces me to make my lines more definite. Okay, and a lot of professional designers, they actually sketch in pen. So I haven't got that safety net of being able to rub out, and some of you smart Alex will tell me about those friction pens where you can rub them out, but you know, on the whole, pens don't rub out. So I'm going to force myself to be more definite. So here's what we're going to aim for today. Number 1, relax. Why is that at the top of my list again? Because it's so important. So going to make sure we're going to relax. Want to really develop that use of our line weights that we started in the previous video. Focus on really getting those lines nice and parallel when drawing the cubes. Focus on developing parallel lines when used for hatching and shading. So the first thing you need to do is to set yourself up with a page that has got six cubes sketched out on, with that are isometric and have got a really nice light line weight to them. Hi, so I'm back again. I've got my 6 cubes set up. You'll notice that some of them have got some wonky lines on, and do you know what? I'm just going to leave them in. They're a mistake, but I'm going to work with them, and you'll see how by the time we get to the end of the sketch, these lines will almost disappear and you won't necessarily notice them. And this is why we end up working with really light line weight. Okay, so possibly over here, these ones might not disappear as well as I might like, because the line weight's just that little bit too heavy, but I'm going to work with it. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to put in some of these cutaways now. Okay, and all of these cutaways will involve parallel lines. Okay, you can see here's the rest of the line weight from that cube here, but actually, so the construction lines, that's what I meant to say. Here's the construction lines from the previous cube, but actually they kind of disappear a bit because I've got this heavy line weight going on, and you can see the other kind of the ghost of the cube there as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add in some of these cutaways. So the first one I'm going to do this one, because this one's really quite nice and easy. So to do that, I need to get my parallel line in, so I'm going to add in a parallel line weight, a nice faint line weight there. I'm going to add in another one that comes down this way, and this is just giving me this line and this line. Okay, now I'm going to add in this one and another one here, and then I can add in my extra bit. So essentially I'm just drawing a cube on the side of a cube, but now I need to add my line weights in just to make it all pop out in the right places, so it all makes a bit more sense. So I'm going to start to add in Okay, you'll notice some of my lines overlap, but you know what? That's absolutely fine. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the backs of this little cutaway bit, Okay, and so that there is nice and easy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add in all of my shapes first. Then I'm going to go back in and add in all of my all of the shading. So I'm going to add in the shapes, and then I will show you what we'll do with the shading. I'll come back on once I've done my shapes. Okay, so now you can see that I've got pretty much all of these shapes represented on my page. Some of them, you know, the lines have gone slightly wonky, but I've done my best to keep them as parallel as I can. You might have noticed that I turned my page a lot, but now it's time for us to make sure that we get our shading on so that it's going to start to look really quite nice and give it the definition that it needs. So for that, we're just going to use parallel lines. Okay, it's going to be that whole arm motion again. Okay, so lock your wrist. You know, when we say lock your wrist, you don't have to like squeeze and grip it hard. You're just aiming just to not move your wrist at all. Okay, so I'm going to turn around my page so that it's comfortable for me, and I'm just going to add a series of parallel lines quite close together along this bottom edge. Okay, so my next job, I'm then going to add some more along this side, but these are going to be a little bit more spaced out, so it implies that it's a different face and maybe getting just a little bit less light. Okay, so and that is all I'm going to do for that one. I'm going to pretend that these top surfaces are receiving lots of light, and if I really want to, I might just, because this is the one where I had all those stray lines where I probably wasn't concentrating as much as I should have been, but I'm just going to add that extra line weight, and that draws our focus to these lines and hopefully not these lines. So I'm now going to move on to this shape. Okay, so I'm going to turn my page to suit me, and I'm going to start to draw these parallel lines along this front edge, and anything that is on this this face or this plane, I am going to keep the lines in the same direction. Now, to get a bit of definition there, I might have to add a bit of extra line weight there. But we're going to keep all of that in the same direction. Okay, and then the next one, I'm going to add some on this one, but I'm going to add these in a different direction this time. So I'm just playing around and experimenting, working out what really works best, but all the time I'm practicing those parallel lines, just dialing in the muscle memory. Okay, just making sure that my body gets practiced and used to doing it so that I can do it repeatedly when I need to for my actual design work. Okay, so you can see how I've started off there. I'm going to go and finish off the rest of them, and I'll join you in just a few minutes once I have finished all of these. Okay, so there we have it. Here is my finished completed exercise. Couple of things to note. So is it the neatest, prettiest piece of sketching? No, it's not. Are there mistakes on here? Yes, there are. There's lots of mistakes on here, but you know, when we think back to the key exercises, key things that we were doing with this, you know, it was that extra thinking skill of thinking about how we're going to cut things out, thinking about developing our use of line weight. So are we using really light lines versus some heavier lines? You know, have we got practiced our use of parallel lines? You know, it's all there. It's all there on the page. Could they be better? Yes, they could. Okay, and I will hold my hands up and say that, you know, I'm not very well warmed up. I'm a bit out of practice of sketching, but do you know what? I'm going to do my best to get better. So I'm going to go and practice this skill, and hopefully it will get better, because you will only ever get better with practice. Okay, so have a go, keep up this skill and practice it. Keep going whenever you get the chance to. Get a spare bit of paper, spare 5 minutes, sketch some cubes, do some cutouts, do some parallel shading. and you will get better the more you do. And I promise you, I am going to be practicing this skill. So maybe in a couple of weeks' time, by the time we're out of lockdown, we'll see whether I have improved or not. Okay, good luck. Show me what you can do. Bye bye.